Hey, what's up guys, my name is Cherno. Just Cherno. No, the Cherno. Welcome to the More Cherno channel. I'm super excited to be starting this new channel. We're actually going to be continuing on the whole Ghost of Tsushima thing. There's the previous video if you haven't caught it already. It's actually on my other channel, my main channel. I've created this new channel because, well, this is the kind of content that you can expect on this channel. Just me looking at stuff, maybe playing some games, giving my thoughts, just really chill content. We're here to have a good time. Isn't it nice being on this new channel? If this is the kind of stuff that you're into, then definitely subscribe. I'm going to be taking a look at The Last of Us 2 after this. Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming out like today, so I really want to get my hands on that and actually play that. If you're interested in that, then this channel is definitely for you, so stick around. Let's finish up this whole Ghost of Tsushima gameplay video. We just finished up watching this whole explosion sequence here, and we're up to the customization aspect, which I'm super interested in because I think customization is, well, first of all, it's not only fun, it also kind of goes into the depth of the game. Tells you how deep the game is, you know?
You might have noticed that while fighting as the samurai, or sneaking around as the ghost, Jin had on a different set of armor. That's because the armor in this game actually gives you different mechanical advantages. It's not just the way it looks. It helps
I mean, yeah, pretty typical.
accent your chosen playstyle. As you explore the world, you'll discover Omamori charms. They'll give you an edge in battle. But more importantly, as your legend grows, you'll develop all new techniques.
Really
which
giving me
Witcher
samurai vibes.
into the ghost. The thing is, you get to decide how those techniques evolve and grow over time.
Okay.
It's always worth keeping an eye out for dye flowers. Find enough of them, and you can change the color of an armor. So not only do you get to choose how the ghost gameplay evolves, but you can fine-tune the look as well.
Love this autumn aesthetic. Photo mode I've heard a lot about, actually.
It wouldn't be a Sucker Punch game if it didn't have photo mode. In our new photo mode, we have features such as color grading, depth of field, so you can
that's
focus on
really
the right
cool.
objects. We have a bunch of new features that really underline the motion and movement that's so great about our game. You can control the wind's direction, the speed.
Wow.
You can change out the particles to different types of leaves and fireflies.
It's like a
You can
full-on
even select
engine
a track of
editor.
music from our original score that might be a little bit more fitting. So if you're into doing a photo, or maybe you actually want to do a video, there's something here for you. Here's a few that I've created.
Yeah, super cool, and I think that this stuff is not particularly difficult to implement in games because I don't doubt that the developers would be using some sort of version of this throughout the development of the game to just make sure that everything is running correctly. I mean, you know, providing all of these different color grading filters and stuff like that is maybe something that they've had to put additional work into, but things like the different particle effects and all of that stuff, all of those tools are kind of available to the devs, so by taking that and making it maybe more part of the game's runtime and exposing it to players of the game, I think that's really cool. And it definitely helps to kind of provide this unique aspect to the game where you can actually explore the world a little bit deeper and actually control things like particles changing and wind direction to kind of try and frame these things. I think it's a really cool thing that they've added here. I haven't seen too much of this, like to this depth before. I think it's a really cool way to show off the visuals that this game is capable of. And I mean, for the developers to actually put this into the game, they would have to be pretty confident that this game will actually live up to everything it can offer, because this is almost like an editor. And I've said this before, but a lot of the times the scene is not really as good as it might look because the way that they've framed it and the way that they've set up the actual story mode, not in this particular game, I'm just talking about games in general. Sometimes there might be deep, dark secrets hidden within the worlds of stuff that is hacked together or broken or just not really developed fully. by providing stuff like this, it's really opening up the whole game world to be a lot more immersive. And it's also standing behind the content they've created and said that, hey man, you can go and play with this. We're happy with how it turned out. And I think that's really cool. I'm not sure to what extent this photo mode exists, if there are like certain cases in which you can use it, if you can literally just pause the game at any time and play around with this stuff. If so, that's really cool. And it honestly reminds me of back in the day when devs used to ship developer tools with games a lot more often. There was like general modding support for games, and I'm talking about like, Battlefield 2, even like Halo. I remember Halo on PC, like there was like Halo Custom Edition with like map editors, and I know that probably wasn't provided by Microsoft or anything like that, but it really does make me miss those days where developers could play around with games, and a lot of the reasons that was the case was because they were just much simpler, and it wasn't as difficult to kind of dive into a AAA game and actually mess around and create some mods or just some custom like scenarios or even something as simple as this. So this in general, even though it probably is quite limiting, and I mean I still love it, it reminds me of the good old days, and I think that's really cool.
A Japanese voice track option with subtitles is a perfect fit for our game. So I'm happy to say that before the first scene even starts, you'll be able to turn this option on.
Why is it an option? Surely that should just be the game. I'm not sure I would want to play this game without that if it's available. That seems odd. Do they provide that because people actually want them to like 100% speak English? Like I would prefer them to speak. It's kind of like watching a foreign film. Like you don't want that dubbed. You want to actually have subtitles there for English or whatever and hear the actors portray this in their actual language that they did it in. Dubbing always kind of annoys me. I mean, I know this is a game and it's different, but still. No, that's great. That's really cool. Yeah, well done to them for that. I love that authentic vibe, It's good to actually respect a culture like that as well.
Here at Sucker Punch, we are huge fans of samurai cinema. We wanted to create a way for you to feel like you're playing your favorite samurai movie. So we created a windy, black and white, film grained out mode that you can turn on from the very beginning.
I will say though, I don't really like how this looks. It's interesting, they made this black and white, and yes, it is a bit film grainy, but it doesn't look that great. It actually looks...
We created a windy...
I don't know what it is. Why does this look bad? I mean, you've got the depth of field. I think the shadows and maybe the contrast is so low that it makes it difficult, but there's also not much detail note here. There's very little texture. Everything's very smooth. If you look at all the kind of detail in the scene, everything's kind of flat and everything's quite smooth. There's no objects around. There's nothing in the background really. And I think that kind of gives off that simplistic vibe that you might be used to from games of like 15 years ago, because it just...
out mode that you can...
I mean, look at that. That looks so like, that like the clothing that he's wearing there. I'm just trying to... Yeah, it just looks so not detailed. The waves in the background are cool. And yeah, see, this show looks better. I mean, there's some lighting going on here. The arm looks a bit weird, but this kind of cloth over here is really nice as well, the cloth physics. The particles, that looks better as well. Maybe it was just because it was off in the distance. But I didn't notice anything looking kind of to that degree of simplicity, I guess, in the rest of the games when it was actually in color without this filter. It's really cool that they've made all of this. I mean, I feel like nowadays, maybe because I'm not that into playing games as much as I used to be, but this kind of reminds me of something I would mess around with as a child, having lots of free time. I'd be like, oh, let's try and recreate like my favorite scene from a samurai like movie or something like that. It doesn't really like, I feel like it doesn't appeal to me so much now. Like, it's cool, I respect it, but it's probably not something I would spend too much time on if I had the game and if I was playing the game, but it does remind me of my childhood, so that's cool. Yeah, just to reiterate though, the rest of these black and white scenes look great. This looks especially great. I think that it's kind of hard. It's you really need to make sure when you're doing black and white stuff that your dynamic range is really on point and that your details are also on point. Like, this scene looks fantastic, honestly, but that first scene, I didn't really like that. That looks amazing. Look at that shot. That's near perfect. That's another perfect shot. There's something flickering over here, which I don't really... kind of distracts me a little bit, takes me out of this. But otherwise it looks like a film. Like, that's a great shot.
Today, we've shared with you some of the unique ways that you can explore the island of Tsushima. We've also shared with you some of the ways that you can fight as a samurai, or assassinate as the ghost, or customize Jin, or play in special ways. But we have so much more to show you in the future. Ghost of Tsushima comes out on July 17th. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you later.
I'm always so late at covering these games. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get better at that, I promise. What a special game. It gives me such a nice kind of special vibe. Yeah, I've really enjoyed this kind of overview of it, to be honest. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Like, I mean, I love connecting with my audience, and it's really important to me as well. I love reading what you thought about this. It's not just kind of a monologue from me, but it's more of a discussion with the community. I wish I had time to play all of these games, but I mean, I honestly don't. I do want to put together some kind of playthrough of a game. I don't know what the game is going to be yet. I want to do that on this channel and maybe, like, you know, approach it from almost like a technical commentary point of view as I'm playing through the game and just point out stuff like this, but actually play the game instead of just looking at this stuff. But I don't know what game I should do that with, and because my time is so limited, it's gonna have to be like one game like a quarter or something like ridiculous like that. I don't think I'll be able to like get through something every month or every week or anything like that. So I'm not sure what I want to do there, but yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I think that so far out of the stuff that I've looked at, I mean, you know, Halo I didn't really connect with too much. I haven't looked at Last of Us 2 yet, but I want to. Ratchet & Clank, I mean, it was fine, but wasn't anything too deep there, I guess, for me personally to connect with. And I've never really played the other games in that genre or any other Ratchet & Clank games in my past really at all. So I guess this is probably my favorite thing that I've looked at so far. Yeah, I think they did a super good job on this, honestly. I'm not even sure, especially for PS4, especially for last gen. I'm already calling it last gen, but especially for like the PS4 gen, like that is, yeah, great job, amazing job, honestly. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video as well. Hopefully as much as I enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you all for watching. Next time, as I mentioned, I'm probably going to take a look at Last of Us 2, but I also want to see if I can pick up a copy of Flight Sim and actually play that. Maybe I'll stream that. Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. If you guys want to drop a comment below with your thoughts as to what I should do with that, and if you're even interested in that, then that would be great. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Goodbye.